Do you remember that jug we did? What was it called? Like Big Jugs
Big
or
jugs.
something?
Yeah.
Wait,
Big
what?
sips. Big sips. Big sips. It was close. It was close. That's a different website. I'm sorry.
Welcome back to Arsenic Culture. I'm Matt.
I'm Jason.
Drew.
And we have been having a conversation for the past hour while we've been doing a bunch of quick shots. We just had like 9 quick shots, rapid fire. No,
like
it's
way
probably,
under that.
It's probably,
one,
it's probably
8.
closer to like 15.
Yeah.
Probably closer to 8.
But ready to drink cocktails. So this has become like a big thing right now. We have talked about like what is next, what is popular. Did we do an episode where we actually talked about what is like? We did.
We have not. We're actually going to be doing an episode pretty soon, in the near future, on what's next for bourbon.
Yes,
That's what we're looking at.
But I swear, me and you had an episode. We were like, "What is the next thing?" Because we were talking about right now RTDs, ready to drink cocktails, which I hate saying RTDs.
It is a weird term.
Yeah.
It's like R2D2 almost.
Yeah, or like
mixed with an
STDs.
STD.
Yeah. But then like we talked about like hard seltzers and stuff like that, and we're like. And we actually talked about like non-alcoholic beverages becoming like super popular.
I think we've talked about that on like where bourbon trends were going in the past. And we looked a little bit secondary looking at that. So I think what we said was the younger generation, for the most part, is not buying as much alcohol as we did.
You're right.
So a lot of the stuff you see in the stores now is like the THC seltzers. They're not alcoholic. They're like think of a soda with THC, like it's like a carbonated water.
Yes, exactly. Some are soda.
Yeah, with
some
flavor.
are actually just carbonated water. Like some are like 0 calories.
Well, they have like the Delta 8 or Delta 9, right? Those
Which
are the
is,
two.
from all accounts, we had Pierre on our show several episodes back, told us a lot of information. If you haven't checked that out, it's a 2-parter. Definitely check that out. But they're like one molecule off of THC, which is marijuana, but it's legal in a lot of states. So like your CBDs and things like that. Here in Kentucky, we have a big company. It started out really small, called Cornbread Hemp.
Right.
So they started that out, and now they're doing all kinds of stuff. So they have gummies for like sleep and stuff, CBD. Then they have the RTD cocktails without alcohol, like the seltzers.
Right, and it's cannabis infused, THC infused.
Correct.
We'll get actually Pierre back on, and then we'll do like a THC because that's something that I actually know very little about.
Yeah.
We joke that like, oh, we're professional drinkers, you know. But for all intents and purposes, we've had a little bit of everything. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like we understand a lot of stuff. The THC side of it, I kind of don't know shit about that. Like I know there's a Delta 8, there's a Delta 9. I know you're just skirting laws.
Yeah.
Really, like legalities in order to get your beverage made. But today we're talking about the ready to drink cocktails because those are surging in popularity. And I don't want to say it's weird because a lot of it just like, if you just kind of think about it, it just makes sense. Yeah. It's one of those things where just like evolutionarily speaking, this is where we need to be. And it's just like, I have a theory on, why we're here, but like ready to drink.
Why we're here like on Earth?
Yes, exactly. We were, propagated with
Have you had
aliens.
some THC seltzers before you
You're
came on the
real
show?
deep.
This is my first THC seltzer for the night.
Well, this is actually a Pilsner, so I don't know what you're talking about. But
THC.
yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting, and I'll give you some theories on my end. So I do think it's, every generation that you've seen in the past, let's look at history, they kind of pulled away from their parents' generation what they did, right? So whether it's bourbon or beer or whatever, they've pulled away from that. So
not only just the alcohol, but alcohol in general.
100%. And I think, there's a lot of, we enjoy alcohol.
Yeah.
And sometimes we enjoy it too much. To be honest, it happens. But I don't think any of us on this show are out of control. Like we're not, doing bad things and getting in trouble and stuff like that.
We haven't got any Buckfast yet.
We're not drinking a lot of Bucky
We
yet.
might yet.
Yeah. But, stuff like that, they've probably seen some of that and realized, hey, this isn't great for you. Looked at the studies. They're more involved with like research and things going on.
Right.
They're probably thinking, hey, this is bad for you. So that's where I think a lot of that's coming from. The other thing is, look at cocktail bars. So cocktail bars now, they're super popular. They're not the dive bars. We've done an episode on that.
Right.
But they're the cocktail bars you go to that are $20.
For a drink.
For one drink.
Yeah.
That's like 2.5 ounces of drink.
Sure.
Not even alcohol. 2.5 ounces of the drink.
Yeah.
So that's very popular too. So I think it's having that at home.
Yeah.
And just go ahead and have it ready to go.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing I think about is like it's the technology side of things too, right? Like people associated for a long time like marijuana bad, right? And so now that we're learning more and they're studying the cannabinoids and all that a lot more,
sure.
and they're able to then like, hey, we can put this in a liquid form that will help you with your sleep, it will help with anxiety, and like there's all kinds of things with like VA and PTSD. Like there's a lot of technology side of things too that they're like, hey, we can infuse this in a drink.
Well, a lot of that too, though, is like think of like a Four Loko, right? So Four Loko.
Let's think about that for a minute.
Seriously though, so Four Loko back in the day had alcohol and caffeine
and taurine and guarana.
Yeah, taurine is what got everybody in trouble.
Yeah. But if you look at like, so if we're talking two things here, we're talking RTD, ready to drink cocktails.
Yeah.
We're also talking THC infused stuff.
Right.
I don't know that there's many, and maybe I'm wrong. I'm not up on this topic, but I don't think there's many RTD cocktail drinks that have THC in them.
Right.
I think it's more two separate things. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
I don't know if they're allowed to put.
You probably aren't. Well, you were at one point, maybe Four Loko, like something like that.
Well, so here's the thing, like from a consumer perspective, I don't know if you want to because they are two separate draws.
I'm just saying though, when we talk about them though, they're two separate things. Right.
I think we are kind of
we're having two conversations.
But this is an overarching conversation at this point before we whittle down into the.
If you walk in a big box store right now, so a Total Wine or Liquor Barn in Lexington, Kentucky, you will see multiple end caps when you walk in of RTD cocktails and THC seltzers.
Right.
Now, some of those are the seltzers, THC, some of those are just soda or whatever with it. Yeah. And then the RTD cocktails are another one. But that section started with a half of an end cap. Now it's probably 4 end caps.
That's what blows my mind. So I remember going in, and we keep talking about the THC stuff. We'll have a different conversation about that. But it's like, I do remember going in and first seeing the end cap or the end of the aisle at our big box store, and it said they had a border on it.
Yep.
It was like, you know how the aisles or the shelves are sectioned off,
Correct.
section. And the THC section had a big green border around it that said THC infused. I actually think that's super important because somebody going in not knowing that they're buying a THC infused beverage, thinking they're getting like a 5% White Claw, go home, they smash 4 of these, and they're calling the police because they're like, I got sold an infected beverage.
Well, what's interesting is that it's all about their packaging, right? Because there's nothing
in that glass. I'm drinking that.
Smell. How's the nose on that?
That was my first beer of the day. My first drink of the day.
Those don't count. Beers don't count.
But if you have somebody who just glances down at something and sees 5 and they don't see that it says MG, right?
They think ABV.
They might think it's ABV, right?
Exactly.
And so they're
I can drink a Budweiser.
Right. I will drink 12 of these.
Yeah. Right. And then they're like, oh, I'm going to drink a 4-pack of these things that are basically similar to a High Noon or something. Yeah. And all of a sudden they're like you said, they're sitting in the corner and
huddled down.
They actually had this happen. So I listen to a lot of podcasts. So one of my
listen to
ones,
this one or no?
I don't even know what this one is. So I listen to a lot of KSR, so Kentucky Sports Radio. Right. They are notorious for not talking about sports. They're actually their highest rated. Their highest rated ones are not about sports, which I really like. Yeah. So they do a golf scramble every year. Last year they did a golf scramble. I think it was in Lexington, but they had sponsors of Cornbread Hemp.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, yeah, they have sponsors at every hole.
Yeah.
They've had sponsor of Cornbread Hemp for years, but they were the CBD gummies before, so to help you sleep and rest, barely hurt you or affect you. Then last year they had the THC, the Delta 8, Delta 9. Yeah. They had so many people that were too screwed up, they had to call all kinds of Ubers, people throwing up, passed out in the golf carts.
Because it was just too much.
Because again, like you're used to it's just a CBD. I'm going to take 3 of those. I'm out feeling relaxed.
Different animal,
Hell no. If you take the THC with that, you're like done.
Yeah.
Wow.
People were literally like on the golf course passed out. Like
Could you imagine? That'd be like a scene from like an M. Night Shyamalan movie. Like everybody just laid out on the golf course and people trying to figure out what's going on. It's like, it's the plants. They're trying to attack everybody. Yeah. They're like running them over themselves with like lawnmowers and shit.
What was that? Signs, Mel Gibson, I think it was one.
I can't remember. It was one of those movies. So, but anyways, like the RTD aspect of this has been growing too. I remember seeing like where the THC shelf had one like section, the RTDs had like 2 sections. I just went into the big box store today and they had 4 sections on one side and then another 4 sections on the other side. Like it has been growing exponentially. It's huge. And the thing is like, it's not just cocktails. Okay. So we just did a series of quick shots. Okay. We did like 6 or 7 or 8 of them. The Finnish long drink, which you and I, your brother who is a distributor had turned us on to that. Jason's never had it before.
Never had till now.
I think it's fantastic. Okay?
It was good.
One of my favorites.
That's considered a ready-to-drink cocktail, but it tastes like a soda.
It leans seltzer to me.
It leans like a soda pop. Like if I was just to drink like we keep saying like squirt because how many grapefruit sodas do we have?
It's like the ranch water. You see that? So it's like vodka and whatever, like spritzer with it or whatever. Same thing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that. If you go out to like bars now, that's a hugely popular cocktail. That literally it's a cocktail, but they crack the can.
About ranch water? Yeah.
Yeah, and then just pour it in your glass. Here you go. You know what I mean? So
the Finnish, the long drink is based on a cocktail called Lonkero. Somebody created it in 1952 during like the Summer Olympics, I think, when I guess they went to Finland.
Okay.
And it was just gin and a grapefruit soda, and they would mix it together, and that was Lonkero. It was the name of the drink. Like if you got like a Moscow Mule or something, that's just the name of the drink. And then like some enterprising like Finnish American individuals were like, we need to bring this shit over to America. Sorry, Mom, I said the S word. And like they turned it into a brand. Lonkero means long drink in Finland. It means something else very like obscure and like inappropriate too, but I can't remember what it is. But so they were just like, let's just.
I have many thoughts.
I know, it could be.
I'm gonna pass on
I can't remember
those.
what it is.
Matt's mom, sorry.
But they, sorry, Matt's mom. But they, so they call it long drink, and that was a few years ago.
Right.
And now in like the UK, they have dubbed long drink like the drink of the summer. Like apparently it's flying off shelves. It is a great beverage.
Well, it's essentially gin and tonic. I mean,
it is. But the thing is, like,
yeah.
when you drink it, like, I don't consider that on the surface a ready-to-drink cocktail.
No.
It's like you said, I just like, if like Hard Mountain Dew actually came out with a Hard Mountain Dew
They did.
that wasn't diet,
Oh, yeah.
like, I would put that then in the same category.
Yeah.
It is basically an alcoholic soda.
I think the first time I was introduced to ready-to-drink cocktails, RTDs, was like Jack and Coke. So they had, or maybe it's Beam and Coke, but Beam and whatever. But they
probably both have one.
They
Jack
do,
and Beam.
They 100% do.
Yeah.
Wild Turkey has one too. So when you go to the distillery, well, I didn't either. I don't think it's in the U.S. When we went to the distillery, right? So
What?
weird. So a lot of these
Let's export all this stuff.
A lot of these distilleries export only some of this stuff. So Wild Turkey does have an RTD with their bourbon and some kind of beverage like a Coke or Pepsi. Yeah. They have cans of it at their distillery. You can't buy them, but you can see them on the wall, display wall.
That's hilarious.
And they're not older cans; they're new, so they're definitely there.
Yeah.
So they're being exported currently.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Within the last 2 years, I can't say they're today, but
Right, yeah.
2 years. But you know, when I used to work in a liquor store a little while when I was in college.
Yeah.
And so I remember the Jack and Coke, the Beam and Coke, little cans like. Think of like miniature Budweiser, little small ponies.
Oh, yeah.
They were like that in cans, and it would just be mixed up, ready to go.
Yeah.
But who the hell's buying that at that point? Like in my mind, I'm thinking.
At that point?
Yeah.
Right.
At that point, in my mind, I'm thinking, well, I'll just buy a fifth of Jim Beam and buy some Coke and mix my own. You know what I mean? Like that's what you want. That's what you're looking for. So it's a convenience factor for sure.
It is. I don't think they were as popular back then. Yeah. So my first point is that like, a lot of things that can be considered an RTD that we wouldn't think of as an RTD. You know, you take like an On the Rocks, which we did a couple quick shots of that. That's an RTD. That's a ready-to-drink cocktail. A margarita or a whiskey sour, that is an actual cocktail. Something like the long drink, it's great. I love it. I don't think of that as an RTD. It's good, but I wouldn't put that in the same category. Now, if you're expanding it like that, okay. Now the category is super broad. There are seltzers that could be RTDs. There are like what's the iced tea thing that we had over the Cincinnati game?
Oh,
yesterday?
Sun Skimmer or something like that? Or
Yeah,
something like
there's
that.
like iced tea and vodka. That's technically an RTD, but it's just like, is it really? You know what I mean?
So I feel like an RTD in my mind, there's like qualifying thing of it needs to be more than 2 ingredients. It can't be rum and Coke. It can't be bourbon and Coke. It needs to be something, something, and something. Like
I kind
3
of
things
agree.
for sure or more.
I
But
kind of
also,
agree.
a rum and Coke is a drink.
It is,
But
but
I don't know if it's. I can make that easily.
Right.
that's
yeah.
why it's hard to differentiate.
But if you tell me a margarita,
Yes.
I've got 4 ingredients.
Yeah.
Now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least, like I'm trying to, make
Yeah.
it nicely.
nice leer.
Let's just. I need some more alcohol. Do you have any Do you have any RTDs available?
So I got this right here. This is called Atomic Boss.
Oh, it's named
Hard
after
punch.
me.
Yeah, is it though? Tropical Fusion. So this is considered an RTD, and it is.
Makes sense.
I don't even like. It doesn't have any ingredients listed on it.
Doesn't
But-
need it.
Sweet.
Yeah, and this
It
is
says tropical.
yeah. There are a lot of different like packaging like things that they have. We did the beat boxes.
Buzzball.
But the beat boxes come in the cardboard box like this
What
one.
were the
This is
squeezy packs that we did?
The squeezy packs. Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember what they're called.
It was like applesauce, but
Yeah.
in a
Yeah. It's perfect for 3-year-olds.
Yes.
alcoholic
is.
applesauce.
Yeah.
So so one of the bars, not a bar, actually had a little bar in there, but it was a liquor store. Shenanigans, just
Yeah,
off
I know
UK
I remember
campus here in Lexington,
Shenanigans, yeah.
Kentucky. I remember when one of our friends, Justin, was the manager there and worked there.
Yeah.
He would tell me they're like #1 sellers with this crap, like stuff like this.
Okay.
People coming in for college.
Off the wall like RTD. Yeah, this
100%.
would be a
Yeah.
great college beverage. And I think all
Beatbox
of
was
those
our
are.
#1 seller for many years.
I believe it. Super strong. What did this say? 12% alcohol? Like
12.
that? Comes in like a convenient milk carton.
Did you have to buy just one of these, or do they come in a
I
pack?
actually just got one of these,
So
unfortunately.
the thing that obviously these are tailored to a certain audience.
I mean, it's got video
Yeah,
game
teenagers.
controller on the side.
Right.
Have you see this?
Teenagers.
Let's play together.
Let's play together. I mean, this is marketed towards kids, basically.
Yeah.
You know, well, I say
so-
kids, but like Gen Z.
Teenagers.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what I think. But like people want the convenience factor, right?
Yeah.
Again, I go back to this all the time on the episodes I've been on, but like talk about how people want things like instantly, right? If you're going to go to a party, do you want to pack a bunch of stuff around, or do you want to just grab like 3 of these,
Right.
or a 4-pack of Cutwater, and be brown
And
out?
then just brown out, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, back in the day, you would have a case of beer, 6 people would drink on it because they'd be taking some of your beer. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So again, if you have 3 of these, you can keep them on your person and still get drunk.
right, and be apparently wrecked.
Probably
after
won't remember the rest of the night.
Yeah. And they make the flavor approachable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, I know a lot of women, my wife included, doesn't particularly care for the taste of beer. So they make them fruity and everything else, and, whether it's creamy in a Cutwater,
Right.
where it's more approachable for those types of people. And I feel like that's where, with RTDs specifically, they're trying to go.
I think what I've seen from my experience with it, from starting, drinking alcohol at 21, of course, never before. But never before. But, starting younger and then working in a liquor store too, and then going to now, the evolution of the RTD, the ready to drink cocktail, is insane. Again, the first one I ever saw was a rum or bourbon and Coke,
Right.
of some type, Beam or whatever. And then now you have 1,300 options.
Yeah, it's insane.
And they're pretty good. I remember going to a bar. We were in where were we at? Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
I might have not been 21. But I remember we ordered a pitcher of Blue Motorcycle. I have no idea what that was.
the fuck is that?
It was a blue mixed drink that you got at this bar. I was clearly 21, but I remember it tasted awful. But it was
Yeah.
like, okay, it's better than beer because I didn't love beer back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then now though, like these options people have are so much better. Like this is a fine wine or fine cocktail compared to 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah,
Like,
so
it's crazy.
That is my biggest kind of like qualm with RTDs. What year is this? 2025? Like 3 years ago.
Yep.
Because they started to come out, and honestly, I thought every single one of them were god awful. I'm only talking about 3 years ago.
They were.
This is real recently.
Yeah.
And there were big name players like putting them out, like the Jack Daniels and stuff like that or whatever.
Yeah.
And I would get something and it'd be interesting, be like, what's that? Let me try it. Oh, tastes like shit. Pour it out, whatever. There's a brand, I hate to call people out, but like
Call them.
it's like Pony?
Make the call.
Yeah. It's like Pony or something like that, or Pony brand or something like that. And they had
Jordache jeans or something.
Jordache jeans. Wow. No, that was like 25
that's where
years
my
ago.
mind's at, baby.
That's way long ago. They had there was some sort of like whiskey cocktail. Like it wasn't Manhattan, but it had like some sort of cherry or something in it. And I bought a 4-pack and I drank one. And I was like, I'm going to have the rest of these 3 for the rest of my life because I can't finish these. They were so bad. They had a like a bourbon and cream soda, and I was like, it's okay, but like I got through half a can, and I was like, I feel like I kind of need to induce vomiting just to get the rest out of me.
So what were you drinking in college? What were you, and again, let's date ourselves. So what year range were you in college?
Early 2000s.
Okay, so what were the drinks that were popular then?
Natty Light.
What about mixed drinks? Do you have any of those? Anything like that?
No, honestly, no.
What, Drew, college years? What?
No, you know what was popular is the stupid ass shots that were all had like really crazy names, like
The
kamikazes
buttery
and-
nipple, the
yeah,
flaming Dr.
sex
Pepper.
on the beach, and
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Flaming Dr. Pepper was a very cool drink. Like,
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
light on
because
fire.
it'd be on fire. Yeah,
Bacardi
that was big.
151.
That was big back then.
Yeah.
I guess that's technically a cocktail, but like
That's fine. It's
and
a shot.
that's actually when you think about it, it's crazy. They would make a cocktail in a shot format, and you
Yeah.
would just shoot it. But for all intents and purposes, those were cocktails.
Yeah. What about you, Drew? When college years?
So 97 to 2002.
So me and you're same, roughly.
overlap.
What were you thinking?
So when I went to parties,
I went to college for like 12 years, so like I'm a little different than you all.
was he Billy Madison?
And I'm not a doctor.
He went back to 4th grade when he was 28.
I just kept redoing it, and I was like, you know what? I can learn more.
Matt Huber, PhD, MD.
It's Matt
Hey,
Huber,
kid,
janitorial services, honestly.
Just cheat off me. I've been in this class 6 times. I know the answers.
No, when I was in college, like especially with, like my early college years, I would go to parties and I had guys who were of age buy alcohol at the ABC store when I was in North Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
And I would tell them what I wanted, and I would go to parties and mix drinks for people at the parties. I would have cups.
So you were actually kind of bartending.
I was,
Okay.
And so a buddy and I had bought an international bartending guide. It was paper back then.
Yeah. I think it was printed off an AOL. I got I've done the
papyrus,
same. I've done the same.
It was a scroll. I was like,
Roll out, and the font was actually papyrus, the same avatar font from the movie.
Sanskrit.
Wingdings.
Yeah, wingdings.
So like I had like a handful of drinks that I would make, but the things that I always used were easy things that were neutral, like vodka.
Yeah.
And I would do things with like Sprite.
Yep.
And Country Time lemonade
you go.
or the
For sure.
Kool-Aids. And I had like 3 or 4 different flavors, and I would just make those.
Those are crowd pleasers.
Right. Everybody loved them. They were probably very high in alcohol for what I was doing. But like that's what I did because it was like this.
Yeah. So let me tell you about my college experience. Roughly same time frame as yours. This epitomizes my college experience. Now, beer was a staple for sure, but we had an apartment complex when I lived at Eastern EKU here in Kentucky, and I went there. Had 2 roommates, and our upstairs neighbor in the apartment complex comes down on a Sunday afternoon and has a cooler, like a 40-gallon cooler.
Was it hooch?
And said, "You boys want some hooch?"
Oh my God!
Hell yeah, we do.
Okay, yeah.
What was in that hooch? I don't know.
See, I don't even think kids know what hooch is.
I think so. Hooch essentially it's almost like bathtub wine. Like you got a bottle of Hawaiian Tropic, perfect.
Yeah.
You got a 5th of Everclear.
You just said
dump it
Hawaiian
in.
Tropic.
Hawaiian
Punch.
Hey, kids, don't.
Girls
You
in bikinis. Like,
You got suntan lotion, just squeeze that shit in there.
That's what's wrong with
Mix
me. I'm
it up
sorry.
real quick, yeah.
I figured it out
I
finally.
kept wondering why you have that like tick every time you like say Hawaiian. It just like comes out.
The state of California said this may cause cancer. He's like, get up and drink it.
I'm good. I'm still good. I'm still pretty good. But so Hawaiian Punch. I mean, you got orange juice. You got shitty whatever flavors, Faygo, whatever you can find.
Yes.
Did y'all put fruit in yours too?
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, so
and
you got to cut up fruit and put it in
and
there.
that fruit was god
and
awful when you
apples,
pulled it
yeah,
out
yeah.
because it tastes like Everclear.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, it's crazy. The fruit, and
Yeah.
we learned this firsthand. We did an accidental scientific experiment. We're going off on a tangent here, but if you take fruit, put it in alcohol, the alcohol will absorb all of the fruit flavor, and the fruit will absorb all of the alcohol.
And then that fruit is awful.
And then,
Awful.
yeah, you
The
taste
color goes into the alcohol.
Correct.
He put strawberries in some vodka.
My wife did this.
Put
I did
strawberries
not
in some
do it.
vodka, and the strawberries turned white.
Yep.
And we tasted it, and it was straight vodka, but the juice was amazing.
So what we would do is when we had the fruit in there, we would actually take the fruit out after it's set for a while, freeze the fruit, throw it back in, so it's like ice in
chill
there.
it down? Yeah.
Plus, it would
yeah.
like add a little more alcohol content to it.
Yeah.
But that hooch.
We're ahead of your time back then.
Oh, we do. We had other tricks too, but that was just one we can talk
That's
about.
gonna be
in the
a
air.
future episode.
That's gonna be the Patreon account.
We're gonna call it Hooch Hacks by Jason.
I mean, again, that's a ready to drink cocktail. Like you
Yeah.
had a freaking cooler full of whatever.
Right.
It's like, oh, I like fruit punch. I mean, I don't know what else is in here, you know?
Yeah.
Everybody brings something, just dump it in. So I think we
there.
started that back in the 90s, but now we've refined it to where it's actually good.
Yeah,
Not bad. You know?
And, again, I'm going back to TikToks. I'll probably watch too much of it for somebody being
Me
my
too,
age.
me too.
But you've seen those kids who, college age, who will do like the gallon jugs or whatever.
Oh,
where
yeah. Don't take them in your hands
right,
or whatever.
but it's essentially the same thing, right? Aren't they're putting a whole bunch of stuff in there
for
with their
sure,
alcohol.
for sure.
So it's essentially they're making their own RTD.
Yes, you're exactly right.
But I think where we're at right now, though, I mean, RTDs are as good as they've ever been, right? So, and there's people that are recognizing that, hey, this is something good. I think it's just saving them time. It's a convenient factor. It's like going to McDonald's for a hamburger, driving through.
That's my
Just making it
theory.
home.
I think after the pandemic happened, I think people that were used to actually going out and drinking, saying like, can I get a cocktail? They get that cocktail made.
Well, hell, during the pandemic, you get to go.
Well, and then after the
Game changer.
pandemic, you could. Well, during like late. But like when it was like, hardcore enforced, you're like at home and people are like, I can't get a cocktail. All of a sudden it's like, oh, we got you, fam.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden you got the RTD ready to drink cocktails.
Yep.
And it's like you can kind of get the feeling, the je ne sais quoi of going out to a bar and
a lot
ordering
of words,
something.
a lot of
But none of them are English, so don't worry about it. But like you could get the feeling of ordering a cocktail, but you could get it at home and you get the convenience factor because you ain't got no dirty dishes. You can just pour it into a cup and drink it. And you're like, okay.
Cup.
Well, it's also
Straight out of the carton.
It's also the lake and tailgating and the beach, right? Like you just grab this and go.
True,
Like
yeah.
If I was 21, not 18, 21, I would grab this and be like, hell, let's go to the beach. You know what I mean? I wouldn't even think twice about it.
Would you grab this, or what would be if you had an RTD like just that's in your lexicon that you know of, whether you've had it tonight or not?
So
what would you drink?
If I'm back at 21, I'm gonna be honest.
Well, let's do a 21. And let's do a 40.
Okay, so
let's do a 39.
I'm like 20. I'm 20. I'm 29.
Let's do a 38 and
79 now. 29 plus like 18 or something, whatever. But so back then at 21, I'm gonna buy whatever's the cheapest. To be honest, the cheapest with the most alcohol. I don't want something that's like 30% alcohol, but I want 19% with a good price.
True.
Right? Now I'm looking at something that would taste good. So from what we've had today, based on our quick shots, which you'll see at some point, the espresso martini would be fantastic
From
in the
Trader
mornings.
Joe's of all
From
places.
Trader Joe's.
That
Yeah.
was
Fantastic.
You taking that to the lake?
In the morning. Drew, we got a whole day. We got a whole day.
Oh, okay, he's playing
We're playing this. That's from
And
7
Jason's
to 8.
paddling the boat to make it go in the back.
No, Jason's floating in the lake.
Yeah,
Come get me.
dead by that point.
Come get me.
Yeah.
But after that, I mean, honestly, the other things we've had here, throughout our time on Arsenic Culture, I would say some of the buzz balls have been pretty good too.
Yeah.
Earlier today, though, this one's okay. I mean, it's not like great, but 12% alcohol.
I agree. I actually like this better than the beatboxes.
Yeah.
This Atomic Boss, we probably should have done a quick shot, but I mean, it's approachable. It's just like for some of these ready to drink cocktails, like you take the concept of let's just talk about an old fashioned. Okay, an old fashioned is a very simple cocktail. It's bourbon and it's bitters,
right,
and it's simple syrup.
Simple syrup, yeah.
And
a cherry, orange.
Yeah, right. And it's a relatively strong cocktail though. Like you got bourbon basically mixed with a tiny bit of sugar.
Depending on who pours it, yeah.
Exactly. To kind of dull that out. But that's still like, if you take your bourbon and it's like, let's say you use something that's like, 100 proof.
Or grain alcohol, vodka, gin, whatever.
I'm not using grain alcohol in a fucking old
Well,
fashioned.
I meant neutral grain. Like vodka is neutral grain. Think
Yeah.
about that.
But I'm
There's
saying
no
like in an
flavor.
old fashioned, you put bourbon in it.
Okay,
And
sorry.
bourbon's normally like, get off your phone and you would know what we're talking about.
I'm not on my phone.
You take like something that's 100 proof and you cut it with like a little bit of simple syrup,
Yeah.
and then maybe it's like, I don't know, like 20% alcohol, 25, 30% alcohol. It's like more like a liqueur, right? Seriously, 35% alcohol.
I think RTD, the audience for that, they've hit the mark. So the audience for RTDs now, like this one here, this is for twofold. It's for the college age students or the first people drinking, whatever age you are. It's also for people our age. It's almost like your throwback, like, oh, I remember Mad Dog 2020. Which we'll do an episode in the future. I remember Boone's Farm. I remember
Bartles and James.
Bartles and James.
Yeah, wine coolers.
I remember that stuff. So
Seagram,
you're hitting two demographics, right? You're hitting the younger generation and then like the 40-year-olds.
Yeah.
So, but like, I'm talking about like the ABV. So like,
No, I'm just saying, no, overall, RTDs,
I agree.
that's what they're going for.
I agree,
That's what
but
they're
like
hitting.
you take like an actual cocktail, and let's say it's roughly 30% alcohol, because that's what a cocktail is. What do you do with that old fashioned? You're sitting at a bar, you're drinking it, you got a dimly lit like restaurant, it's nice,
You
you're
pay
hanging out with your significant other, you're paying $18.
You're tipping your bartender well.
Way too much. Like they don't deserve it. They put like 6 dashes of bitters in there when they only needed to do 2. Completely unnecessary. But
I'm
you're
gonna
like,
throw my bullshit maraschino cherry at it.
I know, yeah, that was
I want my like sourdough.
yeah,
baby.
the Kroger brand, but you're sitting there, you're enjoying yourself, right?
Ish.
This is a quote unquote high end beverage with a high end ABV.
Yeah.
But like RTDs have gotten to the point to where they're taking that high end ABV. Granted, this is 12%, not 35%, but they're trying to like turn it into something that is approachable to do at the pool.
Yeah.
Like you drink 3 of these Atomic Bosses, dude, you're gonna have to go to the hospital.
Well, and the thing that I just noticed
sure.
that I've never seen on any packaging
I
before
saw this and I didn't look at it closely.
it says one Atomic Boss is 500 milliliters and it equals 3.5 5-ounce glasses, because wine is somewhere between 12 and 14% typically, right?
Put that on the camera.
So
like this is
so that's basically
that's kind of telling over there.
So that's the whole thing that people on TikTok have been talking about, these cut waters, is that it's a 12-ounce can. So that's essentially almost
1.5, 2.5.
It's almost like 2.5 5-ounce glasses, right,
Yeah.
of wine.
Yeah.
Well, just think if you were to drink 5 glasses of wine,
I've been there.
you'd be mook.
That's a headache, and you don't remember the next
Right.
the
Yeah.
night before.
But they
it's-
put it in a like a
I've never seen
friendly
it-
package.
I've never seen it on a it's like a warning label,
Yeah.
like be
But it's
aware.
it's
that
friendly.
It
It is friendly, yeah.
It's just like, hey, here's a little reminder. Don't drink.
That's the
multiples
thing.
of
Like, okay, we did a couple of quick
But,
shots.
but again, it's also going back to retro to entice our generation, and
Maybe.
retro to entice the new. Look at the design.
yeah,
it's like-
I
it's like a
agree.
retro
I kind
game.
of agree. See, I think it's more of a just like, hey, drink this because you know you want to get effed up.
I'm gonna drink this.
Well, that too.
Go ahead. So like,
take a
you
little
look
more,
at we did a couple of
Sorry,
There's
give me
water in
two.
that.
water.
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
sorry, I thought it was empty.
You drink water?
Go back to we did a couple of quick shots for the On the Rocks brand. Okay,
Yeah.
ready to drink cocktails. One of them was god awful. Surprisingly, was rated high by somebody, but like we had one that was decent, and it comes in a nice glass bottle with a cork.
For sure.
Okay,
It's an attractive looking bottle too. It's not bad.
and that was 20% alcohol. That's more than this. That's quite a bit more. But at the same time, if you buy a glass bottle, even if it's 500 milliliters, you're not walking around a college party chugging that.
Correct.
You know what you are walking around a college party chugging? A fucking milk carton. You know what I mean? Do you remember
With your own face on it, because you're gonna be missing when it's done.
Yeah, exactly. Do you remember the?
We will not come find you either.
Do you remember that jug we did? What was it called? Like big jugs
Big
or
jugs.
something?
Yeah.
Or sip-
Big sips. Big sips.
Big
sips. It was close. It was close. So let's see. That's a different website. I'm sorry.
We're getting our products mixed up.
Totally different website. Big Sips.
But if you want to sponsor the podcast,
Whatever it was called, yeah.
We're off the rails.
But it was in a jug. But I mean, like, it was literally a small version of an actual milk jug.
like a 1 gallon.
It was.
That is marketed so you will walk around a party holding this. I think they had a similar warning label on there saying like how many drinks in there. I can't remember, but at the
I think
same
it just
time,
said drink more.
but that was like a 15% alcohol jug this big.
Was it really?
Yeah, and that will kill you. So like there is a disparity here that I think I'm not giving a public service announcement here. Like, I'm not saying you need to point it out,
feel
but
like you are.
It's pretty obvious that they're saying like we're taking RTD and we're already ramping it up to like the nth level.
I think the summary here is RTD's here to stay. It's much improved than where it was when we started in college. With the Jim Beam and Cokes.
You've worked way too hard to say that you started drinking at 21.
I never had a drink till I was 21
Those
today.
Bartles and James Fuzzy Nabels were really good.
They were pretty good at, whatever age.
The old
But
BJ.
They're here to stay. They've actually gotten a lot better. There's so many other options now that there's some really good options out there, but beware because these are not just basic drinks. I mean, these will mess you up. If you drink 4 of these, I'm passed out in the bathroom. I mean, it's going to happen.
Well, and that's the thing that sort of I think about that, like somebody who's getting their introduction to alcohol. When we did that, not in high school. Those Bartle and James were what, like 4.5%, 5%, 6% alcohol, right?
I'd say between 4 and 6, yeah.
Right. So you drink a 4-pack of those allegedly, and it's like, oh, that's fine. Like I feel good. Mm-hmm. If you do that with this,
Atomic
you're
Boss.
you're in the gutter somewhere.
You were puking outside or inside somewhere. You're puking. You're puking.
Inside.
Yeah.
Or inside.
Right.
Or at Keeneland. But that's hugging your friend.
That's the thing is that
This is the part in the video
I was
where
talking about Matt.
I'm going to flash a picture right here. Yeah.
that's hitting very close to home, Jason. You're coming back at me now. But like I think about, again, like it's all about the approachability. We've talked so many times about people, how drinking alcohol trends are down a little bit, right?
They are.
But you can see how they're trying to like rejuvenate that trend.
I
They're
agree.
try to turn that trend the other way.
I agree.
And people who are going from what would normally be a 6% alcohol ABV to a 12,
That's a steep jump.
it's like danger, Will Robinson.
Yeah. So this is a trend. You say it's sticking around. I think it's sticking around in the short term. I don't know about the long term. It is crazy how it's progressed. But there are a lot of options out there. There's actually a lot of good options. So y'all check them out. I don't know how many quick shots we're going to put out with all these by the time we air this one.
Under 100, more than one.
Yeah, but we got a bunch more coming. So, guys, if you like this, please share it. For more Arsenic Culture, you can check us out on all the socials. We are at Arsenic Culture.
Like and subscribe on YouTube.
And share.
Share.
And share.
Share it with your friends.
And we'll see you
Sharing
on the next
means
one.
caring.
We'll see you on the next one.